How often are you doing videos?
Nice. Fond of that.
All right. Hi, Internet. I'm starting the broadcast now. We're not going to actually get started with the event here in the room for another 5 minutes. So, hi. And Jason will be moderating the chat.
Hey.
Thank you for tuning in. And if you have relevant questions, please put them in the chat and Jason will alert us to them. Otherwise, I'll read chat later. But thank you. Hi, everybody in the room.
Hi.
We're streaming on the internet, FYI.
We like the internet.
Good. That's why we are here.
That's also a good reason you're here.
Right. Oh, right. Used to.
Right.
Don't like the internet anymore. So let's just get started because it got quiet. So welcome to Chicago Internet Creators. That is the group that you are in right now. We have an event about once a month here in Chicago, and we've started doing live streams because we've had requests from people in Detroit and Peru to participate, even though they can't physically come. So we've started doing that. And feel free to move up, but I know that's also comfy, so feel free to stay put. As I said, Jason will be moderating the live stream, so he'll let me know if there's actually any questions from all of you on the internet. And if you're here in the room, of course, feel free to raise your hand. And it's pretty informal. If you've been here before, we keep things pretty open. So if you have questions throughout, just let us know. We're just going to talk, have a conversation. Perfect. My name is Dave. Most of you I've met and talked to intimately, internet less so. I started this group 9 months ago because I was totally burnt out on YouTube. And that might seem like a counterintuitive reason to start a group for YouTubers, but it was actually kind of my way of getting group therapy, was to find other YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Instagrammers, podcasters locally to just talk about what it is to be a person who makes stuff on the internet, because most of the other people in my life don't get it. So it's been really great to have all these meetings with you and y'all. I'll talk. Quick background on me. I have a YouTube channel called BRICK 101. It's historically been about Legos, which is like super fun, right? YouTube channel about Lego. It was my full-time job for 2 years. I had an employee, we had a health plan, and then things changed, adpocalypse, I burnt out, and now I'm not. I haven't posted it. I went for 8 months without posting a video after posting 3 videos a week for years. I have just, as of like a week ago, posted a video on the channel again. So I have like burned out and have slowly risen from the ashes, Phoenix style. So this topic is really personal to me. Burnout is why I started this group. It's what I've been living for the last 12 months. And I've been really fortunate to have a great partner in that journey in Josh Zimmerman. I'll let him do his full introduction, but to say, just something, nobody is more focused on the topic of creator burnout right now than Josh, right? He is the one person who is dedicating his time fully to this. And we all know it's happening. We've all seen Elle Mills or who are the 500 other YouTubers who have had burnout videos. That article about how millennials are the burnout generation. And we're mostly millennials here in the room. So you all know about burnout, but Josh is one of the people who's really doing great. So Josh,
yes,
thank you for coming. Let's give him a round of applause for showing up. So tell everybody here about your career. You've been in the industry for a long time, and like, how did that lead you to focusing on where you are now at Creator Coach?
Yeah. So again, thank you guys for coming out, and happy to answer any questions. I fell into entertainment. I live in LA and went to school for broadcast journalism. and because I wanted to be in front of the camera and report and tell stories. Graduated in '07, and economy crashed, and my mentor at CNN said, "Time to find something else. You're not gonna happen." And so I said, okay, and I ended up getting an internship at E! News. Now, I had no idea how I got it. I know how I got the internship. I fell into it, but I had no idea about the celebrity culture or anything really care about it, which probably made was a good reason why I did so well at it, because I just sort of was like, all right, on to the next thing. So I started at E! And then I worked with Press and started doing was a PA, production assistant, and then on one show in specific was for Style Network back in the day, and I ended up doing some rights and clearance on that. And what that really means is, whenever you put something up on a TV show or anywhere else, we have to license it and clear it. And on one of the shows, we were over by $10,000, and our budget was $10,000. So $10,000, we're going to $10,000. And so I got on the phone and negotiated with all the different photo houses, video places, back down to $10,000. Well, that made its way up to some people high up at E! And they said, you got to meet somebody, because you're good at this negotiating thing. And I met this guy, and who was one of my best friends now. His name is Brian Potter. Brian does rights and clearances professionally. He's does rights and clearances for the James Gordon show. And in 2014, I got a call from Brian. And Brian goes, hey, I have this show I want you to work on with me, but I can't really tell you about it. I said, well, can you tell me something? And he goes, okay, well, it has to do with Jeffrey Katzenberg. It's his pet project, who was, in charge of criminal examination, and YouTube. Okay, I'm in. This sounds good. And what it turned out to be was the official daily show of YouTube, called YouTube Nation. And the whole idea behind this was and Jeffrey's idea was that there's so much content on YouTube. There's so much stuff. How are we supposed to find the good stuff? Right? We usually find stuff on, it goes viral, or if you share it on Facebook. Remember, this is 2014, so stuff was still, it's changed a lot. So this idea was, well, let's have 5 people search YouTube 10 hours a day for content that's great, not just for the number, but let's take this big YouTube spotlight and shine it on these people. It was brilliant. And so it was a curated show that went live every day. And my job was to clear all the content. So in the morning, I'd get all of these videos, and I'd reach out to the multi-channel networks, the corporations, Lego, you name it, and you name the creator, I reached out to them. And all of a sudden, I fell in love with this community, because we were able to tell these stories and shine the spotlight, which sounds a lot like reporting, doesn't it? And so I was like, this is how I report. This is how I can help tell a larger audience about what I'm doing and all these great people out there. And so the show was a huge success, lasted for a year, and then YouTube was like, but the channel's still there, and it was, I just loved it. And from there, I ended up, helping start an MCN, and then did a couple other things, helped start a few other businesses, and then I had some creators come up to me at VidCon. I had done a podcast, and some creators came up to me at VidCon and said, on the podcast, a few people asked me to manage them. I was like, I don't know what to do. Sure, I'll manage you. And that was like 2 people. And on the podcast, the host said, so is your roster full? Yeah, it's full. Well, that podcast broke around, or got released at VidCon, and started to catch a little on fire. And I had creators coming up to me, who were my friends, right? Because I didn't really care. I saw them as my friends, not as big YouTube celebrities. And they started asking me to manage them. And I was like, oh no. I'd much rather be your friend, and I'll give you advice, or but I don't want to manage you. Well, it kept happening again and again and again. And I think after we totaled it up, probably in one day, if you took all the subscribers that these creators had, it was between 6 to 8 million. And I was like, okay, maybe there's something here that I'm missing. And so I started Jay-Z Management. And that then led me to Creator Coach, which we'll talk about in a second. But there's the Cliff Notes version of, since I moved to LA in 2007. There you go, that was a warp speed.
Yeah, I think it's so interesting because, as somebody who is a creator, and everybody here, we often come into creating from the creative side, right? We create content, and you're definitely somebody who came in it more from the business back-end side, which most people here don't ever really get, because they're doing it for a creative reason, and then they suddenly realize, oh, there's all this other stuff that can be happening about it. Question mark. Is that pretty accurate in terms of how you all feel?
Right. Yeah, and what I was really excited about was that I came from this creative world, right? I came from entertainment. I understood what it needed to look like, what content needed to look like. I understood on the creator side what they were doing and what the POV was from there. And I was able to sort of blend those, and then also realize what the heck is on the back end here of YouTube or any platform. But at that time, it's YouTube. And what do these analytics mean? And it just is a wave of, you're just lost in it, swimming in this stuff that you can go down rabbit holes for hours with these analytics, which, guess what happens? Hours go by, and now you're obsessed with those numbers, and now you're worried about making those numbers go up. So now your creativity starts to go down, because now you're worried about what you're going to post. If those numbers don't hit right thing, or it all starts to spiral out. And then you go back and look at those numbers. You're like, oh, they went up. I did something right. But what? What did I do? Right? Or, oh, I know what went up, but I really hate making that content. Right? That's called the creator dilemma. Right? This stuff is really popular, and I hate making it. But my viewers, sorry everyone, love it. Right?
Yeah.
Here's the stuff I love making. My viewers don't want to watch it. What do I do? Because this is how I make money, but I'm miserable. This is what I love doing, and I'm getting comments, and I'm being barraged by saying, stop making this.
Yeah.
But we're forgetting it's your channel. This is yours. This is your life. This is what you're putting out there. So if somebody doesn't like it, there's plenty of other channels out there, but people are subscribing and watching you. And so there's that. It's very quick. It's very easy to forget where you are centered.
Yeah. I think the extra gotcha in there from the creator perspective is both the stuff that's super popular that you're not maybe as into much, and the stuff you're really into that's not as popular. All those things came from your creativity.
Right.
So, you feel connected to them and tied to them in a different way than if it was just like, oh, here's something I'm doing to pay the bills, and here's my creative outlet, right? So when you start from a place of like, this is me, but then the things that you create end up having these different aspects to them, it's harder to feel, it's harder to just turn off the like, well, I need to do some of this just to pay the bills and do this, because I don't know, I personally end up resenting that a little bit much, and then also feeling weirdly attached to it at the same time.
Yeah. Well, it's because it's part of you,
Yeah.
right? It's not, you don't get to turn that light off and go home and be like, oh, I don't like that part of the job. It's you. So you going to shut half of yourself off? No. Now there's this big internal debate with yourself, which could be really great content, but it's draining. And you start to question yourself, and you start to go, well, I made this, and I like it, or I don't like it. I want to move on. I want to be more creative. I want to progress, but I need to still be back here. And so you start to tear, just tearing. I don't know how many of you have felt that. You're starting to feel that pulling in two different directions, or three, or four. It's not too deep. You can be pulled in a lot of this torture chamber.
So, did you want to do any of the next few slides?
Yeah, exactly.
That was
the first. It's been a long night. Basically, that one, and different working with YouTubers as a manager. I hear these. I can read them out loud, or everyone's up there, and
we can read them out loud for the
okay.
sake. Yeah.
So, and I want to see some hands, and then you people online, you can do a hand emoji in the chat. We'll see if it happens, Jason. If you relate to this, or you've ever felt this way, right? So the first one is, I don't enjoy uploading videos anymore because no one watches my channel. What's the point?
Who can relate to that one?
And two and a half.
Wait,
twice, right? Yeah.
I work so hard, and if I don't continue to make content, I'm scared that the algorithm will punish me, and my channel will go into a death spiral. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 4? All right,
yeah.
Good. I don't understand what is going on with my channel. I'm trying my best and following the best practices, but I just can't win.
Yes, no.
Half, 2.5, 3, 4. I feel like I'm doing an auction here.
Sold for the
don't,
price of
Burnout.
Burnout. Yeah. I am done. For that one,
there you go.
because that is literally where I was last April.
Yeah.
When I started talking to you.
There you go.
Better with the drone also raised his hand as well.
Oh, hey, John.
Hey, John. Thank you for raising your hand, or your emoji hand. I find myself waking up every day thinking to myself, what's the point? That's a little dark.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Right? What's the point, not in life, but what's the point in uploading a video or being creative or doing anything?
Yeah.
If y'all aren't raising your hands, I don't know what meetup you're at. Because you've all had to wake up going, what am I doing?
I feel like
Right, there you go. So you wake up while you're editing and you got the last one.
Oh, yeah. If I stop, what am I going to do? Do 2 hands.
Oh, okay, that's the most popular. So I kept hearing this, and I kept hearing it, and I kept hearing it, kept hearing it. And these were from my friends, not the people who I was also hearing from the people I managed. And then August 4th, 2017, I penned an article on LinkedIn about the creator burnout as an open letter to my fellow managers saying, hey, we need to talk about this. We need to help every creator that's dealing with this. And then this happened. Slide. the internet exploded. Again, these articles about burnout.
Creator focused series on burnout because that was kind of the later wave after the Guardian, XYZ, everybody.
And good on YouTube,
yeah.
right? Good on YouTube for doing that, because what they provided with Katie Morton and others is great. It's not enough. But can you go back one slide? I just want to show everyone something. See the bottom here? See this?
Oh yeah.
I can't say that or Dave's going to get demonetized.
Oh, F this algorithm.
Right. That's actual merch. Selling. Okay. So if anyone's like, oh, I don't feel move, right? Here's those examples. Okay. We're all talking about it, but no one's doing anything about it. Everyone's talking about burnout. I'm going to do something about it. Because as a manager, right, a manager's job is to look 30,000 feet in the air and make sure everything in the business is going correctly. Are the lawyers getting everything done? Is everything negotiated? Pulling all the strings. A lot of times they don't have time to be putting out personal fires. So managers are putting out fires from agents and assistants, etc. But it's not their job. They may not be equipped for it. They may not be given the best advice.
And you bring up an interesting point there in terms of it was really this was a huge problem, but it was nobody's job to resolve it, right?
Right.
Because burnout is really an emotional situation, right? And so it's not like assigned business editing or music, right? There's fix my burnout problem, right? I'll pay you X, right? Where you could with an editor.
Yeah, there are some not in the creative, right? But we'll get to that. But specifically for creators, there wasn't anybody.
And as creators, and as you grow, you might be able to start outsourcing, right? Like I had a whole little people that you work with. And at the beginning, you might not. That is a thing to be thinking. This building workshop that you choose. So that was the closest. Was about thinking about who the next member of your team is. So it's really interesting to think about. Okay, there are roles that you could think about adding to your team in different ways. But if the problem,
how can you add someone to your team when you can't even keep yourself afloat?
Yeah.
Right. So Andrew, we're going to just pick. But you had to build it.
At an event a few months ago, one of the biggest things for me was hiring, because it's a company represents 1 people, so it represents you. That was a life changer because it's suddenly something that's off my plate thinking about it.
How much space did that free up?
A lot. It's not an accountant. I don't have experience with it.
Podcast isn't about accounting. No. This happened. This was this problem, and I had creators coming to me, and I was like, "Well, I got to do something." So I said, "All right, I'm going to create something called Creator Coach." And that's what I did.
Want to talk about burnout?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, we've already been talking about it.
So what is burnout? So I
Do
don't
we want to give people a chance?
Yeah, I'd love to hear.
So Cole Review says, I'm trying to find someone who's in the YouTube business.
I'll give you some tips.
He's in the right place, or they are in the right place. What is burnout? Any ideas? Nathan?
It's when it's not being returned or being flipped.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's not trying to just go.
So
Yeah.
just for the microphone, to recap that, based in terms of reward, and that's, you know, can be financial, emotional, spiritual, whatever, that balance feels off, and then you're constantly moving without time to rest.
Right. You're not a human. Right.
Yeah.
And how much control do you have?
I wrote something recently trying to describe what happened with my YouTube channel, Work 101. And that um, you know, I started it from a place of creativity, but also hoping it would one day become a business. And like over the years, I tried different things and figured out, you know, kind of the stuff that was super popular and the stuff that I super loved, and how those staff like that was part of figuring out the business. Uh, uh, but in order to be as successful as possible. I ended up becoming a joyless content production factory. Uh, um, and, and because it's just so easy to